Welcome everyone, this is Nichelle Anderson and this is MOLIAE World. Today I'm going to focus on part 1, introduction of my NFT collection, Pyramid Mystery Temple Reunion. So welcome to MOLIAE World. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So we're going to go ahead and get into this where we're going to focus on my first collection being released. And are you ready for this? In 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So this is basically the timeline of the pyramid rule. It's a timeline of the Equinox Voluptua, where there's going to be 7 moons that intersect with the lLION star constellation before the genealogy of the king's rule on Tiamat, aka Earth. So I talk about that in my podcast show as well as my book, Mitsrayim. So let's go ahead and focus on what is MOLIAE World. So it all started with my book, Mitsrayim, a memoir of a past life in ancient Egypt, where I wrote that book on the perspective of Princess Amina. It deals with true love, it deals with family, it deals with relationships, choices, and other tribes as well as other beings and so forth. So do check the book out. But that correlates when I moved to Atlanta for my dream to turn my book into a feature film. So that's my dream. And so I had a condensed title to Moments of Love in Ancient Egypt, and that's the theatrical production. I also branded out into MOLIAE Beauty, so do check that out as well. That's a skincare line for men and women. So the podcast show came about, Nichelle Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, with the timeline before the book, which is the time of Princess Amina, and then I roll out the comic series. And that's the time dealing with King Mahlon and the tribal leaders that I do talk about on my podcast show. So as we move to now the NFTs, Pyramid Mystery Temple Reunion is basically a 10,000 collection of pyramids. They're pixel. It's dealing with astrology, numerology, history, and destinies. On the trace, it's going to be like serial numbers, like 10 universal catalog. The pyramid, the royal crown deals with intellect. Some of them, most of them definitely doesn't have any like faces until we get into the animal type. And we'll talk about that later in overview, and then the shapes and the dimension. Also the rings of gold and the eyes royalty and the surfboard. That's very interesting. That would be in another series to get more in depth in that. But pretty much overall, this correlates to my NFTs. Are we dealing with the pursuit for not only high intellect, but a family, friends, and a mindset. So at the bottom, you see that line. Where are our golden Yutuda Emerald Sword? So you can pronounce that different ways, but in the nutshell, they all came together for this reunion, and they're looking for a particular sword that will be passed on down to the genealogy that we get to King Mahlon. So these symbols and these expressions on the art of my NFT represents different things, as you can see here. Of course, starting with the crown, which is the mindset and all of that, and then the sword they're looking for, that they have to call out for additional help. So why should you buy MOLIAE NFT? It's for reading, mathematics. That's what Egyptians was known for, as well as it hones on our ability of our choices, and love. Love is power. And I talk about in my book, in my podcast shows, in my live events, and now in my NFTs. So we have these pyramids that are basically living beings with their family. And I get all into that, into the storyline. And when they all meet up for their reunion, they realize that a particular sword is missing. And they call out to their colleagues and their warrior to select one to go find who has these swords that are supposed to be passed down into the genealogy that now we know is ancient Egypt and so forth. So I hope you are interested in this story and into my collection of Pyramid Mystery Temple Reunion. And it's about culture, it's about family. Do check out my Discord as well, where you can get updates of what's going to happen, when it's going to be launched, the mint date, and all that good stuff and goodies. And overall, I think my NFTs is about the power within, and that token, when you know thyself, anything is possible. So stay tuned and look out for the next rollout as I continue this journey of MOLIAE World. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.